Hi everybody, thanks for joining us again for another Christmas special today. I am like a little bit scared because it's Francesca, who I followed for many things all the way through, probably when she left Duncan Topless years ago, all the way to where she is now. So she's looking at me like this. So it's kind of the ones where you know that when you go to a show and you see this person walk past you, wow, I followed her on social media. And the fact is, I love her car discos and things like that. So
thank you,
Francesca. So, Francesca, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and your business, first of all?
Yes. Oh, God, here we go. So I'm Francesca. I've ran my own accountancy business for the last 6.5 years, but I've been on a big journey since I was in my 20s. I was a single parent with 2 small kids at the time, and I decided to go back to study accounting because, one, I thought, most accountants give the impression of being like hard to talk to, scary. And I thought, well, I'm not scary. Let's give it a go. And that's literally how it started. And the other point was that everyone needs an accountant. So I thought, in my 20s, start a new career. Because what I found was a lot of women, after like having kids, lose identity. And feel like that's their role as a parent at home, or you feel guilty. And I don't know, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to change my career, actually have a career, because I felt like there was something about me. I felt like I wanted more out of life. So I did a whole big internal relook. Why was I hanging around with certain people, toxic relationships, a whole piece on personal development, and slowly but surely chipping away. I qualified when I was 29, whilst I was at Duncan Topless. And Duncan Topless was a very traditional accounting firm at the time, but it was like on my vision, like, wow, if I could get a role there and be professional, even though, I'll be honest, before I started Future Cloud Accounting, I felt really uncomfortable there for a very long time, like out of place. So I felt like it taught me the kind of business I want and what I didn't get while I was there, I suppose. And it doesn't even mean they're a bad business, because actually they're an amazing accounting firm to learn under. But I'm more of a feely person, so I need to be in that kind of environment, which I've kind of started, doing that since 2019.
Great.
In a nutshell.
No, that sums it up lovely. If I can ask you, what is the one word that you would describe your relationship with technology at the moment?
Oh, that's really interesting. On it?
Yeah.
Is that what? That's not even one word, is it?
No, but it's spot on there, because obviously everything's changing so quickly. You have to be on it, literally. You
have to be. And what I'm learning as a business owner is what you did in year 2 to 3 is not necessarily the right thing. In fact, it probably isn't now, because 2 to 3 years later, it changes so quickly. So you've got to have a lot of energy. And if it's not you with the energy, find someone with that energy that can help drive the tech forward.
Yeah. So let's talk about your favorites. What is the app or software you simply could not run your business without? What is the main one that you simply could not run it out that you really want to champion?
So this is a difficult one because there's quite a few. Back when Xero came out and few people were looking into it, accountants were looking into it, that's how I started Future Cloud, with the basics, your Xero and Dext. And it's very interesting because they aren't the cheapest. Dext isn't the cheapest. And what I've learned is the cheapest aren't necessarily as forward thinking. And I'd rather pay more. And that's why I've stuck with Dext. But saying that, what I'm learning as well, and you're going to laugh at this, back when I started Future Cloud, I had a business partner with very different personality and backgrounds. We're no longer together. I bought her out last year. But what happened is, when we started, and it was my vision and excitement, I didn't think we'd grow that quickly. In fact, I thought I'd keep everything in here. And she was like, oh, I'm looking at accountancy manager at the time. And I was like, well, we haven't even got a client, but I think we took on one. What, for one client? That was my response, because I didn't realize the impact that we'd have on social media as well. But so what I've learned is that practice-based system is so important, probably more than your Dex and your Xero for your clients. And But since then, we've changed to Karbon. So I changed that. That was my vision, to use something that's quite on the AI side of things as well. And last year we changed over to Karbon, and knowing that it's going to be so painful, but it's always how you lead the team and how you bring it in is more important than what you're bringing in. So I would say there's a mix there, but it's really bad. But I think the practice management software, and you may need to change it, and don't be afraid to change it.
So let's concentrate on Karbon, because not many people have discussed that in these podcasts, which is great because we're actually enlightening people. So how did you actually discover it? And was it a game changer from day one from using it?
How did we discover it? So I heard about it probably 3 years ago, maybe at Accountex or through other accountants. I'm very close to Gravitate Accounting, and they mentioned they were going on it, which is always great in the community if you hear someone else trying it out. But they're probably double the size that I was at the time as well, and checked in on them with it. What I liked about it is the workflow and the fact that you can tag a team. So if you are growing a team, it is really good for that. Straight away, no one likes anything. I'll be honest. Like when it came in, I was like, oh, it's so awkward for onboarding because it wasn't what I was used to, or for somebody or any of the team. You have to persevere. And I realized what I did was, we've got 2 client managers, but I created the role for one of the client managers who likes the tech and isn't afraid to get stuck in with it. And we really reduced his time doing client work to put that in. And it was the best thing. The decision we made was the best decision, because if you haven't got the resources in the team, you either hire someone or, you can use one of the team members. But I love the fact that it's the workflow. They also are the forward thinking with the AI. They are innovating with bringing in proposal software in it as well. And you can make anything you want work within your team, but you have to do your research and check in and make sure that what others people say, but nothing's going to be perfect, and know that.
So what are the key problems that it solved for you as a practice owner? So obviously that's the main reason why we choose software, is to solve problems. So what is the key problems it solved for you?
Workflow, knowing where the team are working on. So it has the Kanban.
Kanban,
Kanban boards, and you can see where the team are working, because we're bringing in the pod systems for our client managers. So they'll have the team underneath each client. It's that where you can have visibility without micromanaging.
Yeah, so that's really clear then. Would you say it's helped you scale, save time, or even keep your sanity as a practice manager?
Sanity.
Yep.
Anyone will know that as an owner of a business, if you're doing less of the doing and you trust in others, you need that sanity check. And that might mean checking in on Karbon. You don't need to check in on your team, because I want to fully trust the team. But if I can see the work's being processed and I can see when an email's gone or a note's been taken, brilliant.
Yeah. So would you say there's some common mistakes when using this? Obviously, you've mentioned that when you try new software, everything looks so unfamiliar. It's not helpful. It's actually a hindrance. Would you say that's a common mistake, that people don't put enough effort into learning a new software?
Yes, 100%. They give up after, you have to give it up to a year. But I think it took us, we implemented it only in May. So actually, it's not that long ago, to be fair.
No.
People give up and want to blame external factors. Rather than thinking, right, because I would not, me physically would not want to implement Karbon.
No.
That would be crazy for me to do that. So I have to either use the resources internal or external, but put the time and effort, because it will pay it back. But if I hear the words clunky, it's clunky. What does that even mean? It means that you're not giving yourself space and time to really think about what do you want out of it. You don't have to do it all in the 1 week. It's taking something that's really important. So for us, it was workflow and making sure the team are on there. We set up a Teams chat called Karbon, and we have to keep reminding the team, please put questions in there so it's helpful to everybody else. And it's that, so everyone's on the same page, because some people will just find something cool on there and just get on with it. But they need to share it so we're all singing on the same page. That's really important when you've got, especially a big team. I can imagine it's really difficult.
If you had a magic wand and could change just one thing about Karbon, what would it be, or would you not need to change anything?
Probably having the proposal software ability now, even though they've been whispering about it. It was meant to come out in November. But the main thing was the links to the onboarding side, the letter of engagement. You have to do it manually, separately. And, you know, when I was on Bright Manager or Accountancy Manager, you could just tick the services and it will pull it through to the letter of engagement.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you can't do that now. We set up with Karbon 4 months in of setting up with Karbon. They then brought out a big new feature that's going to change the portal use for clients. And we were like, because you know you were disrupting clients by sending out information. Some of it was very AI written, not AI written, let's say robotic, so automated written. So it doesn't sound personable. So there was a lot of change. We wanted to make it sound more personable. So sometimes you'd send an email that's gone out and it'll say, Dear X Limited, rather than the director name. And it was like, no, we can't be doing this. So we had to make some of those mistakes to see how it works in live action to change it quickly. And also clients getting frustrated that they were trying to press the link off their laptops, but God forbid they then do it off the phone because it wouldn't work all of a sudden. So it's like but they're changing that. So it's also, if you really got some gripes, feedback, and let's see if they change things, because they do listen. I'm not saying I've done any feedback myself personally. What I'm saying is that does work, though. If you really work with the community at Karbon, then they will make changes or try to make the changes.
That's brilliant. Would you recommend it to most practices, or would you think it's kind of more who's got teams, bigger teams and things like that?
I also know that there's a practice owner that I speak to, there's only 2 of them that's on Karbon. I think she may have had a few more when she started it, but it's working well for them, even still. It is more pricey than potentially Client Engager. I can't think top of my head, but Bright Manager, Pixie, potentially, not loads. I would say, my personal opinion is if you've got a bit more of a team to put it in, to be honest, Bright Manager worked really well for us for a time. But someone else might be listening to this and go, actually, there's only 3 of us and we've got it working and we started on it because the vision's growing a team. So I'd always say, think about your goals, your vision. And if a team's coming in, I would start it early because it is the most forward-thinking practice management software.
Apart from this one, what is your other 3 go-to apps in your app stack? Your top 3.
We use Fathom. Is it app stack personally to Future Cloud?
It could be Future Cloud, or it could be you personally, whichever you feel is really important to you as a practice owner kind of thing.
Yeah, so Fathom. So we used Futurely for a while. Then we've changed to Fathom, which that's what I look at all the time for my business. And that's been rolled out to a few of our clients as well. And Xero and Dex, they're like they're just the staples, aren't they? I do like Inform Direct, if you want to call that an app stack, but purely because it's great for the confirmation statements. But again, I'd be open. We've been on that 6 years or over 6 years. I'd be open to changing that, because if Karbon brought stuff that's attachments to everything, brilliant.
So that leads me great into the next question: is how often do you actually review your tech stack?
All the time. All the time. So when we started Future Cloud, we were going to be predominantly just 100% Xero advisors, give it out because we knew it inside and out. Last year, I'd said to the team, let's expand our horizons with MTD coming in. So we've already used, I think we've used Xero for this though, but we've done a pilot for a couple of our clients. I didn't do any of this. One of the client managers did that. She's hot on personal tax. But Free Agent said, look, there's QuickBooks. Let's expand our horizons on other apps that are coming through, because even if I'm not 100%, I'm the only one that knows Xero. Just because I know it doesn't mean I can't hire someone that knows another area, QuickBooks, for example. So, I would say I can't remember the initial question because I always go on tangents.
I think it was like, how often do you review your tech stack? And
All the
like
time.
Yeah.
All the time. Every year. Let's say every year to be easy, but I like looking what's out there. I get messages on LinkedIn, which is really helpful.
Yeah.
And I'd be open to looking at AI that can do company tax reviews, for example. And I've already been conversations in the past.
Yeah.
Just getting that ready. That they're not quite there yet.
So what is your key advice to those who go out and get overwhelmed by all the software choices out there? We all go to all these shows and see all these bright, shiny things. But what is your advice about the overwhelmness of it?
Yeah, it's really interesting, actually. I can get very overwhelmed. I think there's a lot of business owners that will become obsessed and think they're missing out. You can get FOMO, can't you? You pick one. I picked Karbon, and everyone, and then someone might have said, "Oh, you should have looked at FYI," and I'm like, "Oh, no." And that's owning the ability to stay in your lane, stick with what you've picked, use it to its best ability, and have that reassurance that in the future you can change again.
Yeah.
It's okay, but it doesn't have to be you. It's that people put pressure on themselves that it has to be them that does it all.
Yeah.
And I'm quick to learn that it's probably best it isn't yourself doing it, because what you think isn't going to work or going to work, if your team are doing it on that app and software, ask their opinions.
Yeah.
Because I always say, I used to think that no one would like admin. I didn't like it.
No.
There's people that love admin. So if you're an obsessive type of character that has to look to the imps of the arts of the depths of everything, I would avoid potentially you doing it as well. But it is very overwhelming. There's always something coming out, and I get that anxious feeling of like, oh, that firm's chosen that. Oh, it's true, isn't it?
It is. And we kind of forget what are the problems we're trying to solve in the first place, what problems we're trying to solve in our practice and for our clients. And we think, oh, well, that will do that. And then it doesn't. Or we forget to actually look what software we've already got and ask them whether they do that problem solving.
That is so true, because even Xero, could you imagine what we're missing out on Xero still, because they bring out so much? Have you seen the new feature Jax and how it can bank rec? Oh, another thing. God, I can't believe I've missed this. I have been looking at bots for that.
Yeah.
So the only reason, so I've known them 3 years. I did a podcast with them at Account Tax, I think, and we're taking it a bit more seriously now. But as we were looking at that, Xero then announced they're bringing in their bots to do the bank rec. But I think bots for that will be ahead on other things.
Yeah.
So like you just said there, look at what's working for your business, what's the problems you're still solving. Yeah. And sometimes you can only do one thing at a time, but it can get really overwhelming that you want to do it all at once. And what I've learned is that doesn't tend to work.
No, there's another one as well I've been using called With Otto, that is a bot that actually does the bank recs on Xero. And that's
I've heard that.
So that's a great one. It just goes in and matches them and does the ticks for you. And it does like hundreds of transactions for me overnight. That's a really good thing, because there's so much out there people don't know, because we are surrounded by technology. We need to find a clearer picture of, like I say, what is our problems and what are we trying to solve, and then go out searching. That's
so true. So a good example of that is your clarity piece, where you write, like you said, down literally what are you trying to solve. And I think it took us a year. I used the team to look into different practice management software, for example. The consensus was, it does this, but it doesn't do that. And this is why, as a leader or a business owner, you just got to make a decision and sit with it and go with it and trust it. It's okay if it doesn't do everything. Just know that.
Perfect. So now we're on to the quick fire rounds. So iPhone or Android?
Android.
Xero, QuickBooks or Sage?
Xero.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee. Who has tea? Come on.
Oh, there's me with my tea next to me. Okay. Sorry. One piece of tech or business wisdom you wish you'd learned from the beginning rather than now?
One piece of tech or wisdom. Like I say, putting systems in from day one.
Yeah.
I reckon I would have done it for a bit longer before I put it in.
Yeah, perfect. And my final question for you today is, what is the app that you think is underrated and deserves a little bit more love?
Oh, underrated, deserves a little bit more love. That's really difficult. What do
Sorry.
you suggest? Yeah, I don't like that one because I'm scared.
No, well, we've had random ones such as HubDoc and things like that. Other people have championed any kind of data extraction, because obviously that is like their books of prime entry that gets into the.
Yeah, true. Well, Dex is so big out there, so they're not the little ones. Maybe bots for that, and that type of software that people are assuming that they should just do the bookkeeping themselves. And actually, you should be more advisory. And in order to be more advisory, what tools can you put in? And maybe the bots scare people. So I would look into it more, even if it does scare you.
No, that's brilliant. And that's it. So thank you very much for being a brilliant guest today.
Thank you.
Everybody follow Francesca on LinkedIn. You'll see some really, really positive things on there. Also follow her husband, because I actually find his business advice quite interesting as well, and his new paddle court and everything. So,
I'm going to tell him that, because he's done a really good post yesterday, actually. I think he's been brilliant.
He does some sound business advice at the moment, even if he has pictures of Dubai behind him when he's
yeah, and his Crocs.
So feel free to go follow them on social media. You'll really will find some positive posts from them. And thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you. It's been great. Happy Christmas.
Thank you.